The story begins with our protagonist named Jambi. The boss was quickly scolding him because he had sent him to buy something and he couldn't even do that. He also told him that he was useless since he had been trying to rise in rank for almost 15 years. He couldn't quickly explain to him that if he didn't go for the last mission, he would be fired. After that, the protagonist told him to come out and call his other companions. Quickly, they go to the second member of the protagonist's group who tells him why he does not take charge of the protagonist to become the leader of the group. To this, he told him that he will quickly do that and not to worry. There, we learn about the past of the protagonist. He has always had bad luck despite having woken up 15 years ago. He couldn't even kill a low-rank monster, and he couldn't level up either. Yet, he doesn't explain that other people killed small monsters and got divine items and divine armor while he only found a metal ring. Be careful, he warns. Despite the fact that there are low-level monsters, he couldn't even defeat them. Even so, he remained positive since he thought that one day, that bad luck was going to end. One day when he was going to his boss, the boss called him and told him that today was his lucky day. He had a bronze rank mission that he wanted him to do. To this, he was soon happy, saying that his boss had finally recognized him. Then, we see the companions of the protagonist, a girl who is fashionable and was only communicating with signs. The protagonist explains that she is very kind, but he had not even spoken to the other before they had reached what they asked. Why was the door so open? They explained to us that this guy had hired assassins to kill the protagonist. But at this moment, he told him to get everyone who was there out. But he said no. That was happening since he had paid his assassins, but at that moment, he had appeared. He had been surprised, but as the others thought, it was a low-rank monster. Since they had told him that it was a bronze-rank dungeon, they attacked. At that moment, they all dispersed. The guy who had launched the attack had been told to be careful, but he was just saying that since he was a low-rank monster, he didn't care. At that moment, he had been torn from head to toe. While the protagonist just told him to be careful, the demon told him that they never underestimated demons. And at that moment, he had turned him to ash. After that, the boy was scared. He said how the murderers had gotten there, but the demon told him something that would change fate. She told him that she didn't mind sending them all, but she wanted to have fun to see if humans are the same as demons. So she told everyone they had a deal for them. She would let go of only 3, but one had to stay at that moment, and that person would be annihilated. So, he told her to say in her mind which person they wanted to leave, and they all began to think. It said that 3 people had already made their decision, but one had made a mark. It was the deaf mute that the protagonist had told that she was sorry. She had chosen herself, but since the 2 boys had already voted for the exploit, he was going to be the selected one. So, he said his last words. He wanted to be reborn in the body of another person. At that moment, the demon had split him in 2. But as always, a system appeared that told him the hand of God had given him a new ability. He had reincarnated in another person, a young lady. A woman who was present told her young teacher that he woke up quickly when they put on his glasses. However, at that moment, he realized that he couldn't see. He took off his glasses and, after going to a mirror, he realized that he had been reborn in a new body, and he didn't even know it. He told the woman that he couldn't see the screen, to which the lady asked why. He said that he had hit his head and forgotten many things. After that, he was going to do some missions given to him by the system, which included lifting 10 tons. However, since he didn't know how to do it, he went to a trainer who asked him how it was done. But the trainer told him that she wanted to be recruited for his group. He told her that he had not come for that, he just wanted her to teach him. She left him her card, telling him that if he wanted to do something, she would be available. After finishing his exercise, the protagonist saw that his stats had increased, thanks to the system. At that moment, he was given a new mission. He had to go to a new dungeon and save a hostage. He wondered how strong the monster was going to be. He didn't want it to be as strong as the previous demon that he had killed, but he was still preparing to go. He wanted to take revenge on all those people who had hurt him so much. When he arrived at the dungeon, he saw the box but not the boss he had to defeat. He wondered where it was. After searching for several moments, he realized that it was next to him. He dodged the attack the monster launched, but it was fast as hell. He kept attacking the monster, but it inserted a blow that almost made him lose the battle. He quickly put an ear to protect himself, but the monster did not let him go easily. At any moment the protagonist hit him, and taking advantage of that, he would have an attack. The monster told him that if he wanted to die, he should come with everything he had. He would inject several blows, but it was as if he had not done anything to the monster. He felt the same sensation as before. For now, he was sure that he was going to take the girls out. At that moment, the monster had taken a humanoid form, just like the demon that had appeared before, which scared him. He knew that he couldn't die, but he had to fight that monster. Even though the monster was very fast, he decided to dodge it. After several dodges that are not relevant to the story, the main character had something assured. He thought of just hitting him until the end, the monster until it was dead. But at that moment, the monster appeared next to him. It had thrown him with its pincers and had pinned him against the wall. He had taken advantage of this moment and had taken him by the neck, telling him that this was his only chance. If he didn't give up until he died, then he would be the one killed. So after that, he gave him a super attack that exploded the monster's head, and he fell overflowing, losing blood. But at that moment, the boss had already eliminated it. He had been given the items, and with that, he was able to recover. After that, he had taken it out to the girls. A bald man was waiting for him outside the city. He said thank you for him having rescued the young lady, while he soon asked who it was. He told him that the young lady was the daughter of a guild that the protagonist knew, that he said had the strongest people. So after that, the bald man was ready and said he was surprised since he had seen that the protagonist was only of a rank lower than bronze, while the girl was silver and not even like that. But that boy was surprised. Dent also told her that he was young, so she had to enjoy her life. After that, she had been given a book. Her mission had been correct, and that book was called The Warrior of Chaos. The protagonist said that he had heard of many books, but sometimes he had never heard Everything Awakened before. Or he had a book, but he never knew that those books were so small. The system had told him that he had to eat it, and after that, he had eaten it. With that, he started insisting on energy, and many abilities began to grant him, such as the instantaneous step of the beast and other abilities. After that, he began to test his abilities and said that the best way was to take the field or place where there were no people. But he had gone to a place that he said was worth a lot of blood, but there apparently was a wall. He said that this should be done by skill, so give a fist, he had commanded. And he said that he knew something was going on there. After drinking, he realized that this was a battlefield since there was a filthy massacre of dead people, and he wondered what it was. After looking at the mark of some people, he realized they were neither more nor less than murderers. After that, we see other people. We will go to the girl who had previously invited the protagonist. She said that they did not have to kill her companions just because they had killed the monster, but she said that it was not because of that, and she wanted to kill everyone. And she wanted to kill monsters. So they quickly began annihilating everyone who had possession of those girls. They were angry, attacking a boy who had killed the healer, but at that moment, he had shot him. The boy smiled since they knew it was a lot and told him that making a gold rank hunter was very slow. But at this moment, he was already telling her how slow he was, and from one moment to the next, he had sent him to Jesus. After that, they remember the bullet that had been fired at him previously. The bullets were poisoned, so afterward, the girl did not know. She explained that she no longer had the strength. The boy again threw an explosive bullet with a lot of poison at her, which left her very badly injured. He told her that now they were all going to kill her, regardless of her classmates who were wounded, so that no one would have to see that scene, and they would cover all those things. The girl said that now it would be her end, and after that, Goliath threw a wave at the girl to explode her head. Beginner, an explosion had occurred. The prophet said that to make a rank gold was too weak, something that the guy said that an idiot like him dared to stop his ball. At that moment, he had told him that he had to exercise more. He asked him, and the girl said that that was why she had invited him, to which she replied that yes, they had not come to kill those people, the only thing they wanted was to kill her. He was thinking of attacking. The boy was surprised and quickly sent another of his squats that the protagonist, with the speed of the monster, had also sent with Jesus. After that, the boy began to negotiate with the protagonist since he knew he was very strong. He told him that he would let that happen and that he had to return. So he told him that he didn't care what they would do with the monster, but the protagonist told him that no matter what he did to him, he was going to kill him, because if he left in that instant, then he could kill more people. But the boy had only given him that as an administrator, and at that moment, he had launched a super attack that he learned with his speed. Again he inserted a blow, but the Kaiko was not stupid at all. When the protagonist launched such an attack, he activated a barrier. He had told him that he already knew these tricks, and he was only strong because of his speed. So he told him that since he was a magician, he could cast multiple spells, and with him, he would not be able to. With that, he quickly launched the attack, but at this moment, the protagonist again appeared next to him, and with the sword, he threw, to which the boy was surprised by the power of the sword. He said that if that continued like this, he could die, so he had invoked a lava lake, to which Silver was surprised. He told her that the only thing left was to die or do something, but it exploded. Using his abilities, he was expelled and threw his sword into the lava. While he was perching on that, the boy told him that in heaven, you can't dodge. But when he was already thinking of attacking the protagonist, at that moment, the girl had thrown her sword at him, and he had been distracted from what he had taken advantage of. At that moment, and with the momentum of his sword, he had taken it at that very moment, and he went quickly to where the boy was, and that's what's next. The boy was already history. They killed an innocent flying to the left. They killed a him between flying. The system had given him the skills of the guy he had killed, and the only one he thought was good was lava, so he was quick to take it. After he had noticed the girls, and the girl was tired, so he had fallen and was quickly preparing to take a drink that he had previously taken to recover all his energy, but he had given it to the girl. After that, the girl woken up, but she began to say that her head ached, and in that moment, she fainted. After that, the doctor warned her that she had been intoxicated, and they were neither more nor less than because of the protagonist's drink. Suddenly, it seemed new options to the protagonist, such as that he could change his appearance, and he was quickly preparing to take that. But at that moment, he had arrived. He had warned her that he needed something, but she asked him where he was. He exploded. He told her that he was her cousin, and then they take a person who was from the guild of the boy that the protagonist had previously killed. They asked about the protagonist, but no one answered. So, I quickly prepared to take the girl who was there, or what was the protagonist who had killed such a boy like. Quickly, he took the bald man's hand and told him that his cousin was sleeping, so he didn't want him to interfere, while the bald man said that he was surprised or she was too. After that, two bald men well bumped into the bald man that previously the main character had spoken that had threatened him that he could not do those things in his territory. While the other bald man told him not to worry, sooner or later he would go to kill those three, talking about the female lead and the girl who was there. The protagonist was surprised because even though he thought he was strong, he couldn't evade that murderous intent. So, he said that from now on, yes, he put up a strong topic. After that, the white bald man was preparing to leave, and the black bald man was preparing to talk to the one who said that she was the cousin of the main character. He asked her if she wanted to join his guild, to which she told him that he didn't care, but if he needed something, he was available. So, I also told him to be careful with that guy's guild. After that, the main character got ready to do basic missions like lifting heavy weights and many things like that. He gave it, and so the system told him that he could become stronger. After that, he had done all that, and he felt that nothing was going up since he had done almost all the missions. He said that he needed a new mission. So, he asked the system to give him a mission, and at that moment, the system had given him a new vision. He had to kill the king of the dinosaurs. After that, he had been teleported to the place where the dinosaurs were, and he said that they could leave now since he felt their presence behind the bush. 3 dinosaurs had left. The protagonist was scared, but I told him that because of some damn human, he had reached the place quickly. They decided to insert blows into the dodge with tremendous ease, and he told him that if that was the biggest thing he had, they were surprised. But with several kicks, the protagonist would send him with Jesus to the dinosaurs, and then one was left who said that he was not the same as the others, but still, no matter how much they were, he was going to kill him after making vegetables. The 2 that were left had come to what he said again that he was now coming to fight. Seriously, the main character knows he was the boss, but I had sent him to the other world after an attack. He didn't know where he found the boss, but despite that, he kept looking, too. The system had given him Minotaur armor that gave him much more power, and they increased it by 10%. So, after killing several dinosaurs and reaching the top, he reached where the boss was. He said that this was going to be difficult, so they quickly prepared to attack. He told him that it was not going for him to stop, not even attacking first, and after that, he would swing to give him a quick attack. The dinosaur was also fast, but still, the main character was faster, and he was small, and he can dodge his attacks like it was nothing. So, he said that the only thing he had to do was get to his head, but that was going to be difficult. After clashing several swords and realizing his weak point, the protagonist was heading towards his axe, and with that, swinging upwards. So what? He quickly had to get ready to hit the dinosaur with the sword in the head. But the dinosaur, as if it were nothing, had sent him flying to what the protagonist said. This was not going to be as easy as he thought, and he had to use all the resources that he had. But at that moment, the dinosaur began to channel all his power into the axe. With a simple attack, he had broken almost all the ice that was there. Suddenly, he did not know how to hold on, but the Minotaur, the protagonist, was almost finished falling. He said that he needed such an ability, so he quickly prepared to use all the resources he had, and they are remembered in you because the protagonist had killed previously. He had released an ice crystal that he had taken advantage of at that moment, and with just a few simple blows, He had frozen the dinosaurs. He said that this was going to be his only opportunity, and some cuts again, there were many pieces. And at that moment, the system had warned him that it was already done. He had completed the mission. He could have all the skills of the dinosaur, and he also set them to open the store where he could continue buying skills and also many things like equipment and things. While it explodes, he was preparing to kill those damned who had betrayed him. And after that, we see the girl who was warning her that someone had arrived while she said that she was very weak. And from now on, she will become strong to reach even a gene of the power of the protagonist. The end. So this is the story of ability-stealing Hunter. If you want to watch the rest of the chapters with me, stay connected with this channel. Thanks for watching. Please like, subscribe, and click the bell icon to get new manga recaps.